Ladies and gentlemen, today is Monday the 29th of May, and today a new Snapshot pre-release for Minecraft PC Edition has been released. This is Minecraft 1.12 pre-release 6. We're getting very close now to the release of Minecraft 1.12, so this version contains mostly bug fixes. My name is slicedlime. Let me take you through a list of the changes in this version. Let's start with mobs. Name tags, they wouldn't work properly if you tried to name a parrot with them. And also a parrot that had been renamed would lose its name if it sat on a player's shoulder and then jumped off. Speaking about parrots getting off your shoulder, they would do that whenever you fell downwards, even if it was just a fraction of a block. That is now changed, so you have to fall more than half of a block's height before the parrot will jump off. You also can't have a parrot on your shoulder while you are flying mode in creative mode anymore. And one more change to creative mode is that you can now kill parrots using cookies in creative mode, even if that parrot is invulnerable. One final fix to pets is that they could teleport onto magma blocks, where of course they would take damage. That is also fixed in this version. Other gameplay fixes: fences, glass panes and iron bars would connect to barrier blocks, which they shouldn't, so they no longer do. Vines had a really weird growth pattern. They could grow on top of themselves, leaving a vine block hanging in mid-air, fixed in this version. If you wanted to break a bed, there wouldn't be any cracks on that bed while you were breaking it. That cracking animation is back in this version. For world creation, the Snowy Kingdom Superflat preset had its argument including villages, even though you couldn't get any villages because the biome was set to ice plains and villages can't generate there. If you wanted to recreate an already existing world, then the bonus chest setting wasn't copied along with your world. If you used a knowledge book to unlock recipes, then the book wasn't properly consumed. That is fixed in this version. There's a bunch of fixes to the tutorials as well. The new tutorials that show up at the beginning of the game would show up in creative mode, even the survival only tutorial steps, and that is fixed in this version. Now you'll only see the first tutorial box showing you how to move around, and that box will also now include jumping in the progress, so if you jump you will progress that tutorial now. One fix to an advancement: the advancement trigger for constructing a beacon would trigger when you got near a beacon instead of when you actually built the beacon, and that is fixed in this version. If you took an item stack and you right-clicked them into the creative mode menu, then you would destroy the whole stack instead of just one item. Another small change to the game is that animated textures will now animate in the game whenever the game windows up, even if your game is paused. Some changes to the recipe book. If you had a single ingredient recipe, then you couldn't stack that up into the crafting grid by repeatedly clicking on the recipe like you can with any other recipe. That is fixed in this version. Clicking the arrows in the recipe book also had no clicking sound, and the recipe book animation and display has had several fixes in this version. It should no longer look differently on different computers. If you try to drop items where a tab could appear in the recipe book, then that wouldn't work, which is fixed in this version. And there are a number of fixes to recipes that weren't craftable, including the show craftable button showing stuff that couldn't be crafted, and the recipe book trying to use damaged and enchanted bows in the creation of dispensers. A few changes to text and the user interface. There is now the ability to see the credits of the game by clicking the copyright text in the title screen. On the topic of the credit screen, the end poem music was not playing correctly. When typing into text fields on certain keyboard layouts, typing some characters will cause the narrator to toggle on and off. That has been fixed in this version. On the technical side of things, there are some changes as well. Tab completing command names inside of command blocks will no longer add a / prefix to that command name. And another fix to tab completion is that the game loop function game rule will now complete function names. Inside of a command block, the @s selector was described as a player in /execute. Despite working for all entities, it has now been changed to mention the executing entity instead. There's a number of bug fixes to conditional functions. Conditional function commands would only run if the selection matched exactly one entity rather than matching any amount of entities. That is fixed in this version, and so is the fact that conditional function runs didn't work inside of other functions at all. In addition to that, a conditional function, if it didn't run, would still cause the command to succeed, and that would make a following conditional command block run. The stat.craft item scoreboard stat failed to pick up most items being crafted. That is fixed in this version as well. And finally, a change to texture packs and advancements. If you use an animated texture in a resource pack for an advancement icon, you will now see the animation from the resource pack on the advancement screen. In addition to all of that, there's a number of stability and performance fixes. Most notably, chunk loading has been optimized, and a problem that could cause extreme lag on multiplayer servers has been fixed. So if you've been staying away from trying the pre-release because of that one, you can try this version instead. However, this is a pre-release, it's not as well tested as a full release will be, and thus it can contain bugs and even severe bugs that might crash your game or corrupt your world. If you try this version out, do it on a test world or on a backup of your world. So how do you get it if you do want to try it? Well, head into your Minecraft launcher, click the Launch Options tab and switch on the Enable Snapshots option inside of there. Now head back to your play button where you should now find a new profile. That profile is called Latest Snapshot. If you select it and hit play, the launcher will automatically download and start the latest snapshot version, which is currently this one, Minecraft 1.12 pre-release 6. That was all for this time. I hope you found this video useful, and if you did, please help me out in return and leave a like. If you want to stay up to date with all the Minecraft news, then subscribe to my channel where there is a news video for every new version or snapshot released. My name is slicedlime, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.